Wretched Radio begins in 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. This is April Fool's or not. T.D. Jakes wears a special $3,000 suit for Easter Sunday. Spoof or not a spoof?
I'm betting that's true.
You got that right. I'm just guessing. I went low, by the way.
I was going to say.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of,
each shoe was probably $3,000.
He used to have those crocodiles
That's right.
in his mouth. Now he's got them on his feet because he spoke them right into existence. Apparently he has a new book out on forgiveness, which I think is a good thing, promoting forgiveness amongst the flock, that we are quick to forgive one another, even when it is a lame apology. We can accept that forgiveness because we have been forgiven much. Well, inside of the book, and Mr. Roseborough, Mr. Pirate Christian, took a little bit of an issue with it because he said that children are born forgiving. They have to be taught unforgiveness. I have never, ever met a parent who has had to teach a child how to sin. They are born with it. They are very, very good. Let me see if I can find this.
This was in a book?
Yeah.
That kids are born.
Yeah. Forgiving. They have to. They model. They see it modeled. They see unforgiveness modeled,
and that's how
so
they learn it.
And so that's how they learn it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you'll just have to trust me on my
kids are geniuses.
Okay, I read a good story this weekend by JoshByers.com. Anger from idolatry. Caption caught my attention. Okay, anger from idolatry. Am I angry because I have an idol? Well, the answer to that question is yeah. That's almost always the case. Or you're not trusting God, and so when things don't go right, you kind of get torqued. But this is what Josh Byers wrote about. He said, but he loves his kids so much that he finds himself getting angry when they blow it. Very transparent of him to say that. And then he wrote this, and tell me if this doesn't resonate with you, Mom or Dad. I want more than anything for my kids to love me. Of course you do. They're your kids. You love them, and you want them to love you. I want them to look back on their childhood and believe that they've had the best dad in the whole world. I want them to run to me. I want them to always look to me, to need me, to respect me. That's the desire of my heart. And while all of these are good things, I've turned them into idols. Uh-oh. Is it possible that this is that need-want thing again? I want those things, but if we've crossed over to the line of I need those things, I imagine that someday my children, they'll be married, and my cell phone will ring inside of my head because we'll have implants by then, and I'll push my nose to answer it and say, hi, honey, or I'll just think the thought, hi, honey, and it'll communicate without me actually having to speak the words. Dad, I need your wise counsel. You've always been so wise. Could we please meet at Casetta's after the Psalm 119 conference in Minneapolis? Information available at wretchedradio.com and discuss it.
See what you did there.
Snuck it right in.
Right in?
And I would say, of course, I would love to dispense some of the deep pools of wisdom that I've accumulated over the years. But has that become an idle thought? Because I love my kids perhaps, too much, or I love the idea of my relationship with my kids too much, and it's become an idol. Back to JoshByers.com. I'm realizing that I treasure their response to me more than anything. I realize that I treasure their response to me more than anything. That's idolatry. If they do not respect me and talk to me in an honoring way, then I feel that I'm not getting what I deserve. Maybe, dear Mom or Dad, if you're getting angry with your kids when they are not acting the way that you expect them or want them to act, is that why you're getting mad at them? Because you treasure their response more than anything. And so this isn't as much about their misbehavior, their bad behavior, but it's about that they are not giving you the thing that you desire. In your mind, you say, clean up your room, and they say, Mother, I don't know how I could live without you. Thank you for the Mom. You're better than Mrs. Walton. Because your child has become an idol, or that need to be affirmed like that has become an idol. And maybe that's why you get torqued. I can't answer that. Your spouse can't answer that. Is that why you get mad at your child? This is pride taking over my heart. I feel I'm entitled to this, and if I don't get it in my life then is not complete. When I get angry, I'm not really angry with my kids. I'm angry at the love, honor, respect I have not received. It is my selfishness that is driving my response. This is why secular psychology falls down every single time. They'll never get to this level with you. Biblical counseling will. Secular counseling will not. Because remember, what's the presupposition in secular psychology? You're a good person. You were born forgiving, and you had to learn unforgiveness. No, you're born a wretched sinner, and your heart is an idol factory. And when you get angry, it's not because you're angry at the kids so much as you're angry at what they have not provided for you, which is what you need, because it's an idol in your heart. Josh Byers, I need to realize all the love I need was provided by Jesus at the cross. When I understand this, I don't feel the need to have the love of my kids. And I can respond to them with love and correction rather than selfishness and anger. We talk about this, by the way, in Drive-By Marriage. Until you no longer need your spouse or children, you will not be able to love them right. In fact, you will be more inclined to get mad at them because they're not giving you what you need, so you think, because your heart is not filled with what it should be filled with, and that is the love of God. And so you are torqued perpetually, perhaps, because your kids aren't serving you. And you need that. And this is that whole idea. You will not be able to love rightly until you no longer need the love of another person. You can't love them rightly because you'll be loving them for selfish motives. I'll scratch their itch so they scratch my love itch. This is my needs, her needs, his needs, their needs, our needs, all for wrong motives and reasons. I will do this for my kids. I will love my spouse so that they give me back what I want. Wrong. It'll fail every time, and you won't love them rightly because you'll be loving them selfishly until you no longer need the love of your spouse or children. Need is the key word. You can want it, but you don't need it. You do not need the love of your spouse or children. You don't need it. It's nice to have it. You don't need it. You have the love of God. Who cares if the peasants love you when the king loves you? Who cares? Really, who cares? Now, is it nice? Of course it is. Didn't say that. Is it okay to want that? Of course it is. Need that? No, it's not. The minute you stop needing the love of your child, you will be able to love that child right. And I would suspect your anger will go down because you will be rushing to forgive. Because you'll be thinking in gospel terms and not in